Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are looking right into the engine room of the London property market, and it looks like the gears have completely ground to a halt.
Yeah, seized up is probably the right word.
We're digging into some new reports, and one thing really stood out, a very candid admission from the UK housing minister. He used a phrase you almost never hear politicians say out loud.
Market adjustment.
Market adjustment. It sounds so technical, so mild.
It does. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like something an economist might say. But in this context, it's basically code for something pretty drastic.
It's the government admitting that to fix the housing crisis, land prices in London might actually need to fall.
Which just goes against everything we've assumed for decades.
A golden rule, right?
Yeah.
London property prices only go up. So our mission today is to unpack why they're saying this now, what is actually breaking the market, and if the whole game has changed for developers.
Well, to get your head around that, you first have to understand why we're not building. And it's not just, planning red tape. The sources point to this structural problem called the upward ratchet.
I saw that. It's like a feedback loop, isn't it?
Exactly. So imagine you're a developer. You're trying to buy a plot of land.
Okay.
To win that bid against all your competitors, you have to pay a huge price, a really high price.
So you've got this massive cost on your books before you've even laid a single brick.
Right. And that high land price dictates your entire business model from that point on.
Yeah.
To make a profit, you have to sell the finished homes at a premium.
But you can't just flood the market with expensive apartments.
You can't. If you build and sell, say, 500 units all at once, you undermine your own prices in that local area. You'd lose money.
So you have to build slowly. Drip feed them into the market to protect your margins.
You trickle them out. The high land price itself actually creates an incentive to build slowly.
And when you look at the numbers in this report, slow is putting it mildly. The stats on housing starts, they look like a crash.
Oh, it's brutal. Over the past decade, housing starts in London have collapsed by more than 80%.
That number just stopped me cold, 80%.
And get this, last year, in the entire city of London, a city of 9 million people, there were only 5,547 private housing starts.
That's a rounding error for a global city.
It is. And it's not just that ratchet effect. The industry is calling it a perfect storm. You've got the high land cost, but also new building safety rules, planning gridlock, high interest rates. It's created this new problem of stranded sites.
These are the plots that were bought at the very top of the market, right?
Yes, exactly. A developer buys land in maybe 2019, thinking prices will keep going up forever.
Mhm.
But now building costs are way up, property values have gone flat, and the original math just doesn't work anymore. They can't build without losing a fortune, so the site just sits there. Empty. Stranded.
And this brings us right back to that phrase, market adjustment. The government seems to be signaling that if the private sector can't make it work, something has to give.
That's the pivot. They're saying, we need 1.5 million homes, and we can't just wait for you to protect your high margins. The strategy is shifting away from that purely speculative model.
They seem to be trying to diversify who builds.
Yes. You see talk of getting councils building again, helping out small and medium-sized builders, and doing more partnerships like the ones with Vistry and Homes England.
Vistry is a good example. Their model is less about speculating on land and more about long-term, high-volume contracts.
It's the difference between a high-margin, low-volume business and a lower-margin, high-volume business. The government wants boring, predictable construction.
But we have to be fair here. I mean, developers aren't the villains sitting on land just for fun.
No, absolutely not. And their argument is pretty valid. They're saying, why should we build thousands of homes into a falling market? Mortgage rates are so high that buyers can't get loans anyway.
Plus, the planning departments are massively under-resourced.
So you have this total standoff. The government needs land values to fall to make building viable. Developers are holding that land, hoping values recover so they don't go bust.
That's the deadlock. And that's why the minister's talking about a structural transition. It sounds like they're not just waiting for the cycle to turn, they're trying to actually break the cycle.
Force a reset on land values. That's the goal.
So if you're watching this market, the big takeaway isn't just that prices are a bit soft. It's that the fundamental logic might be shifting from asset growth to just simple viability.
Yeah. The era of making easy money just by holding a bit of London land could be coming to an end.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty uncomfortable thought. If the government is right, and land values need to fall for the housing machine to restart, who is left holding the bag for all those billions of pounds of land that was bought right at the very peak?
That is the question that's probably keeping a few bankers awake at night.
And on that note, thanks for listening to the Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.